YouTube, what the crap's going on? HeirofCarthage back? And Devil Matt sending me a message. The mod tools are out. I guess he's talking about the new mod tools that CA is releasing. I have more online commentary for you, or yeah, more online battle commentary. This is another 2v2. This time it was Prussian Prince and I again versus Jonasny and Archduke. So here we go. He's saying it's time to improve the Carthage faction. Carthage faction's actually pretty decent now in patch 9. I find it to be, at least. I like using it. It's good against quite a few different factions. Their pikemen aren't the best just because they're kind of expensive and aren't real fantastic for the price. But they have access to cheap hoplites, which can be handy. And they have access to fairly affordable cav and a variety of skirmishers that I find to be handy as well. In this battle I'm playing as Athens, so basically I'm just trying to show you all the factions in this game in online play. So here's my Athenian army. Now after seeing what Prussian Prince did in the last battle, I decided to bring my own pike line just to give him a try. So I have 8 pikemen, that's my infantry. They are 600 talents each, so they're kind of a medium unit. They're not real expensive, but they're kind of expensive. And they're not really great stat-wise. If you look, their stats aren't that good. These guys are really only good from the front. They're vulnerable to missile fire, and they're also vulnerable to being outflanked. So, while pikemen are good, they can be beaten. Now, some of you may be wondering, now people are just going to pike box. Some people are pike boxing. I'm running into it online. And to be quite frank, since pikes are better again, which is good, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, the nomad factions are worthless against pike factions. Don't even try it. If you take a nomad faction against the pikes, you're dead, unless your opponent's just plain stupid. So nomads are very, very bad versus pike factions. I find Rome to be quite a powerful faction, but with pikes back, Rome has its work cut out for it in the sense that it does have to maneuver, and its good units are kind of expensive. Evocati cohort are good, and they can do a lot of killing, but they cost 840 talents, which is more than your typical infantry in this game. Roman legionnaires are sturdy units, but if they get charged by a good barbarian swordsman, they're going to get thwomped pretty hard. So here we got my Hippias Lancers and Citizen Cav engaging this Roman Cav. There's 1 Praetorian Cav and 3 Legionary. The Praetorian Cav is a beast, and it's going to take a while to kill it. So heavy melee Cav in this game is difficult to kill. It takes a long time. So melee Cav kind of serves a different purpose. It lasts in a fight for a long time, whereas Shock Cav is kind of meant to be more of a charge an infantry in the back or get a whole bunch of kills on other Cav in the charge. So it kind of serves its purpose as an anti-cav tool. But when it comes to a long grind-out fight, these Praetorians over here, I mean, they are going to last for a long time in a cav fight. Very long time. Anyway, that's the cav fight's still going on. The enemy general came over to try and support. I gave him a quick charge with my Hippias Lancer, trying to kill a few of them. And that's all I got, was a few of them. Wasn't very effective, so I pull out quickly before I get caught. You can retreat in the same direction, so did you all see I charged in and then charged back out in the same direction? You can do this now without getting too caught up in melee, but if you try and get out in a weird direction, it may not work. So the Romans committing heavily to this cav fight, so I'm going to commit to this fight as well. I brought some pikemen, and look right here, I don't get my pikemen turned in time. So the Evocati cohort, or Praetorians, sorry, those are Praetorians. This is like a 1,300 talent unit right here. So it will beat these pikemen from the front, but he's probably going to take more losses than he wants to with the unit that's that expensive. But look at the armor and force that this Praetorian has. Its mass helps it just push right into this pike unit, and now that they're in a sword fight, it's over. My pikemen are going to die. But I did manage to now catch the enemy general unguarded, and the Roman legatus is going to get killed. And then my cav are still mopping up the cav fight. My Hippias Lancers here, only 26 kills, but again, they're fighting against Praetorian Cav. It's a very tough unit. Only 20 of the Praetorian Cav have died. The Legionary Cav is going to get beat by my Citizen Cav. It's not quite as good. And you can see here, these Praetorians just blasted my pikes from the front. So I guess if you're using a very expensive unit, you might be able to take certain pike units from the front. These Armored Legionnaires, you can see, weren't having as much success, but now these Praetorians are going to get into the back of me, and that's pretty much going to be that. My opponent was turning around, so I didn't crush him from behind with these Hippias Lancers. So I got to get out of here for now. And pretty much all of these cav now are going to be at risk because my opponent is reinforcing heavily with his infantry to this cav fight. So you're going to see me try and finish this bit off. So I'm going to get one more good Hippeus Lancer cav into all the Roman melee. The Praetorian cav still barely budging. These guys are strong, but they're also very expensive. Anyway, I've gotten the Roman to commit like all of his units here, and he's taken so much damage trying to pull the pike fight out, and he's losing his skirmishers, which are expensive auxiliary Syrian archers, that he doesn't have much infantry left. Jonas engaged Prussian Prince with his own pikemen. I assisted on one flank briefly right here, so you can see the results of a pike fight. Here's my pikemen versus some levy pikemen that Jonas had, and then here I think with some of my pikemen versus a thorax pikeman, and I think his thorax pikeman won, and then I finished him with this other pikeman unit. So that was just me supporting Prussian Prince. This unit's not moving because I'm trying to micro this side of the fight, and you'll notice that I went ahead and just pulled my cav out of here. I'm going to swing around. My opponent is chasing my cav with his entire army, which is a bit overkill. So I'm thinking that Jonas and his teammate probably could have tried to focus on either me or Prussian Prince before one or the other could support, because pikes are not they're not an aggression tool. Pikes are a defensive tool in this game, so they have to be used in a situation where you can force an attack. So typically if someone's going to bring pikemen, they're also going to bring a lot of skirmishers. If you bring pikemen and you don't bring a lot of skirmishers, how is it that you expect someone to come just run headlong into all this pointiness? It's not very likely. I mean, think about it. No one's got any. It's like, whoa, look at all those pikes. I want to just run into these. No, you gotta bring something to force them to do it. In this case, it was my skirmishers. So I bring a lot of skirmishers here, and this is gonna force my opponent. He's gonna get sick of getting hit. Okay, I gotta get to those skirmishers, so they make some kind of rash action, or they think, oh, I gotta flank around his pikes and get to the skirmishers. Well, as soon as they do, then my skirmishers are just getting extra shots, and I can reform my pikes. It doesn't mean that I'm going to win every time doing it. It just means that it's a strategy wherein I try and use the advantage of skirmishers to force an engagement on unsatisfactory terms for my opponent. Here I'm charging down all the Syrian archers for the Roman. He has his Praetorian cav still. I'm going to hit it with my Hippeus Lancers and then avoid that fight with my 2 citizen cav and keep going for his skirmishers. My Hippeus Lancers gets a great charge and pretty much finishes off the Praetorian cav. And now my citizen cav's free to hunt down his Syrian archers. These citizen cav, pretty cost effective depending on the type of target you use them on. They're good for charges into light infantry, unsupported swordsmen who have already been weakened up a little, skirmishers. They're good for those type of targets. Same thing with Carthaginian cav, Median cav. All of the kind of medium melee cav units are good for that type of thing. So now I've got my light peltist here, and I'm going to harass these Roman units into chasing me. Here he's got an armored legionnaire, and this is an armored legionnaire, so remember these guys have lots of armor and excellent shield strength. But look at the awesome armor-piercing power of javelins, and beware of light peltists, because one of the things that makes them different is the fact that they have more ammo than a standard peltist, which means that they can be quite deadly. So these legionnaires only lost 6 men initially, but now a lot of their hit points are getting chipped out. And when my javelins come in, it's going to start to cause a lot of damage. They're going to keep chasing my light peltist, but they can't catch up. They're very heavy melee infantry, and there's no way they're going to catch a light skirmish unit. That's pretty much the whole point of peltist. Peltist serve a role as anti-elephant and anti-elite units. They're kind of like matchlocks in some way in my mind. They're great at taking out elite units quickly and cost effectively, in the same way that matchlocks were used to take down hero units and expensive cav units on Shogun 2, and expensive infantry for that matter. So in my mind, I kind of see peltists serving the same role that matchlocks did in Shogun 2. They're a good unit. They have limited ammunition though. They're not like matchlocks in that sense. They have very limited ammunition, and so you've got to use it well. So 2 light peltists take out the armored legionnaire, and I still have over half my ammo left. Up here, where my pikes can't get a great angle all the time on these Roman units, the Romans are going to prevail, and that's the way it should be. From the front, the Romans have a hard time. From any other angle, they do very well. So I think what CA is trying to do in patch 9 is really put a focus on maneuvering. And in a lot of my upcoming battles, you're going to see me doing a whole lot of maneuvering, to the point where some of my opponent, and again, I'm not a pro player, but I get some of my opponents in a bind with the maneuvering that I do, they get mad, and some of them quit the game before the game's over. You'll see this in the future, not in these videos because this was just fun ones with friends. But yeah, so you're gonna see some of my opponents rage quit, and it's because they get beat by an army that they don't expect to get beaten by, and I think it makes them angry. Because it doesn't make sense to him because patch 9's new. But again, I really think patch 9 was made to focus on the maneuvering of infantry, to kind of get Total War back to a point where it feels strategic, where every move counts, and the way you move counts, and when you engage, and where you don't engage, and what type of engagement you choose. It's not just run your elite units in and watch them chop everybody down like this game was a little while ago. So it's kind of funny because I did get several rage quits today. In any case, good game to my teammate Prussian Prince and our opponents Jonasny and Archduke. In the next battle, we switch up, and Prussian Prince is going to join the opposing team, and Jonasny is going to join me. But I'll let you see the kills of each of the armies. So here's my army here. My mercenary Rhodian slingers cost a lot, so only one of them really did alright, and those kills were probably against softer units, so really not cost effective here. But since my opponent was out chasing the cav fight the whole time, my cav became very critical. 114 kills on a citizen cav is great. Even 99 kills is good. The Hippeus Lancer racked up 115 kills. So a lot of good stuff going on. Some of my, really only one of my pikemen did any good. Look at all the kills on my light peltist here too. So it's just a matter of trying to pick your engagement right and winning that way. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed that one. Let's see, there's Prussian Prince's kills. Some of his slingers did okay, 2 of them. Look at this Hellenic Royal Guard, 161 kills and barely lost a man. Good grief. That unit's strong. This one, though, didn't get any kills, so Jonasny must have taken care of it. Look at Jonasny's chariots here. These guys are very, very expensive, but they're still strong if used properly, and you can see what Jonasny did. He brought some very, very painful units here, and then brought less money in his infantry. But in the end, it looks like that cost him. These units got a lot of kills, but they couldn't get enough kills to make up for what these guys were now not going to be able to do. And then there's Archduke's kills. His Praetorians did extremely well. They were the ones who were finally getting killed at the very end. That's why their numbers are still high here, but you can see the rest of his units not so effective. Anyway, HeirofCarthage signing off for now.